Hi all, greetings from the apocalypse. This week in the studio, we also started a quadruple loop and loop chain. Now, which that's what made me want to put mine on. I made this, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or so, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Quadruple loop and loop chains, just so you know, these are one of the oldest types of chain in the world, and they come from a time period where they did not have draw plates to pull wire. They would actually make wire out of little tiny sections of backsheet, and they would twist it and roll it to make small sections of wire. And that's why all ancient styles of chain are always based on the concept of individual, relatively small links that are all woven together to give them strength. Because back then they did not have the technology to make long pieces of wire like we do today. Now I realize in telling you all of this that there's actually a lot more to it, and I think I'll probably do a video or two on ancient chain making techniques and stuff like that, which I guess I'll work on that this week. Every time I do a video, it basically gives me the idea for 10 other things that I want to talk to people about, so that's my life. But just the short version, you know, if you go to a museum and you see those unbelievable handmade chains by like the Etruscans and the Greeks and the Romans, all of those chains were made without the use of a draw plate. I mean, the amount of labor is actually sort of like, it'll make your brain explode, which I'll do a video on, and then you can really let your brain explode. So this week we started a quadruple loop and loop, and we've done lots of videos on people weaving them, but it's getting it started that's kind of the tricky part. So one of our students, Susan, was getting it started, and we were like, hold everything, let's film this so that we can show the beginning part of the process. So enjoy. Okay, so we've got a bunch of links. They've all been fused together and they've been shaped to sort of an elongated shape. So starting the quadruple is the part that gives people agita. Like once you kind of have your groove on and you're weaving, it becomes just sort of almost unconscious, you know? But getting it started can be a little tricky. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a small piece of silver solder. I'm gonna use hard, but honestly it doesn't really matter because we're just soldering the first two together to start it. Okay, so I cut a little square. And I'm going to take one of your links. And I'm going to place it right in the middle, like so. She'll say that again confidently. I'll put it right in the middle as it keeps falling off of there. Use Pace Flex, my old friend. So you see what I mean? You put it right in the middle. I'm going to turn the tank on. Oh, you have a smaller tip there?
Are they 0, 0 or you want a 0?
Yeah, 0 is good.
Turn it on enough.
I hear gas, so that's good. Usually takes a minute for the gas to make its way out once you turn the tank on, because I definitely hear gas coming out. There you go. So I'm going to dry this a little bit, and if my solder hops off, I'll move it back, because that's what solder likes to do, like that. And I'm just going to heat it until it kind of does that, like it makes a little puddle. So then I'm going to take another link, and I'm going to place it across, going like that. And I'm going to reflow the solder. And what that's going to do, once we bend it up, it's going to create the little cup, because we go in this way and this way and this way and this way. Okay, so a lot of times I just put a little drip of flux on top, like so. And just make sure it's resting on there.
And you're gonna have to position more of your heat on the link below, because if you kind of just point it at that top link, it tends to melt, because it's, you know, relative. I think this is like 24 gauge wire. So I'll dry it a little bit. Okay, you see how I'm pointing my flame at the bottom link? There we go. So the solder just runs right up. I mean, I usually don't have to add another piece. I just do the one. But if you have any problem, there's, you know, no big deal to add some more solder. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna let it cool, or we're gonna pop it in some water, and then I'll show you how to take binding wire and bend it. You can take a look. What I've got right there is the two links soldered together. Okay. Now I take a piece of binding wire. It's very hard to hold on to a chain when you first start it, because it's just so little and fiddly. So I usually take a nice piece of binding wire and put it through and twist it so I have something to hold on to. So I'm going to bend these up a little bit. Like so. And like so, you see that? So we have a little cup. And then I'm going to thread my binding wire through. And see? And then I usually just twist this around a little bit. And that way, it's very easy to hold on to it.